You're about to launch a product into a crowded market. You need to understand your consumer, their psychology, their triggers, their journey from first scroll to checkout. But building that picture means days of research, surveys, and analyst reports with no guarantee you've got it right. What if you could get an institutional-grade consumer intelligence brief, 10 sections deep, visualized across 6 data charts and interactive, in under a minute? Today I'm showing you Consumer Research Pro inside TurboAgents. Here's the reality of consumer research the traditional way. A proper behavioral audit, demographics, psychographic clusters, buyer journey mapping, pain points, and media habits takes a senior researcher the better part of a week. Then you need someone to visualize the data. And even after all that, the output sits in a static deck nobody can interrogate. Consumer Research Pro collapses all of that into a single run. 3 input fields, 45 seconds, and you have a living intelligence brief you can drill into with follow-up questions. The interface couldn't be simpler. 2 required fields and 1 optional one. Field 1 is target product or service. I'm entering D2C whey protein supplement brand. The specificity is what makes the output surgical. Field 2 is market. I'm entering India. That single word shapes every demographic split and channel affinity score across the entire report. Field 3 is segment focus. I'm entering fitness-conscious urban men and women aged 22 to 35. Gym goers and home workout enthusiasts with mid to high disposable income, increasingly health-aware post-pandemic. The more precise you are here, the sharper TurboAgents works for you. Now I hit Run Consumer Audit, and watch what happens. TurboAgents tells you exactly what it's doing in real time, cycling through 6 stages, mining psychographic clusters, mapping buyer journeys, synthesizing demographics, identifying psychological triggers, auditing media habits, and generating the behavioral visualizations. About 45 seconds. Done. The output opens on the Executive Report tab, and straight away you can see this is not a generic content dump. The header reads, Confidential Behavioral Audit, stamped institutional tier, insight rank high. The executive summary frames the strategy immediately. TurboAgents has identified that India is midway through a protein awakening, a structural shift driven by the fact that 73% of India's population is protein deficient. The supplement market sits at roughly $860 million in 2024, and the D2C channel is where the premium growth is happening. Every one of the 10 analytical sections tells a deeper layer of the story. The demographic profiling section profiles the core buyer as an urban professional aged 22 to 35 in Tier 1 cities. The Psychographic Drivers section identifies 2 dominant mindsets: the science-backed optimizer and the holistic wellness seeker. Consumers who follow globally recognized protocols but are deeply skeptical of artificial sweeteners, fillers, and amino spiking. The behavioral patterns section surfaces a shift from monthly bulk purchases to impulse-driven Q-commerce on platforms like Zepto and Blinkit, plus a distinct flavor rotation behavior that has direct implications for product range and content. The buyer journey map traces 5 stages from influencer trigger through to retention, unlocked only after passing the gut test. 14 days of zero bloating. The pain point synthesis identifies 4 blockers: digestive distress, a trust deficit around adulteration, palate fatigue, and price volatility from import duties. And the strategic engagement roadmap gives you 4 execution priorities: a clear way, an enzyme-fortified isolate line, Q-commerce trial formats, science-first creator marketing, and a gamified D2C loyalty ecosystem. Now switch to the Dashboard tab, and this is where the data becomes visual. 6 charts render in a clean 3-column grid. The age demographic mix confirms the 25 to 34 cohort at 48%. The psychographic segmentation donut breaks into 4 distinct audiences. The purchase trigger intensity chart is the most strategically important. Scientific credibility scores 94 out of 100, gut health 88, taste 82, and influencer validation, which most brands lead with, scores only 65. That's your briefing to your creative team, right there. The media channel affinity chart puts short-form video at 92 and Q-commerce advertising at 80. The brand sentiment index shows 72% positive, with the 10% negative specifically labeled as adulteration fears. Knowing the source is as valuable as the score. And the device usage donut confirms 85% mobile first, which sets your asset specs before you've briefed a single creative. Below the charts, 4 node summary cards surface the most actionable sections on one screen. Now switch to the Chat with Analyst tab, and this is where Consumer Research Pro separates itself from every static report tool on the market. I asked which psychographic segment to lead with in the first performance marketing campaign. The Analyst came back specific. Lead with the science-backed optimizers, 35% of the market, the highest purchase trigger intensity score, and the gatekeepers of brand reputation. Win the person who checks amino acid profiles and heavy metal reports, and you win the mass market by proxy. The recommended creative angle is transparency first. Not transformation content, but a split-screen reel showing a QR code being scanned and the resulting lab report. Headline suggestions: stop guessing, start verifying, and the only way that passes the 14-day gut test. My second question was the top 3 messaging hooks for Instagram and YouTube Shorts. The Analyst returned 3 named hooks with full visual execution guidance. The lab-to-label audit targets scientific credibility. The no-bloat guarantee targets gut health with a side-by-side showing digozyme and protease enzymes, and cravings without the guilt. An ASMR mixability video ending with a one-click blink at purchase targets the convenience segment. The Analyst even specified the retargeting logic: trust hook to website visitors, bloat hook to fitness content engagers who haven't converted. You could hand this directly to a media buyer. Think about what just happened: a full behavioral audit, 10 analytical sections, 6 data charts, and a live analyst you can interrogate in under a minute. The kind of brief that would take a research team 3 to 5 days to commission professionally. And the output isn't static, it thinks with you. Consumer Research Pro is live now inside TurboAgents. Link in the description. Run your first audit today, and you'll have a brief sharper than anything your competitors are working from. If this walkthrough was useful, subscribe. There's a lot more coming.